What's going on, my good people? Back on here again, of course. I'll holla at y'all about accept the karmics for who they are. I'll say it again. Accept the karmics for who they are. Understand that we once was in that same situation, but everybody got free will. When you shoot them prayers up and you asking for change, you asking for better, you asking to make your life whole and exit out the negative, the BS, the things that don't serve your highest good. It was only serving all of your low vibrational activities with them addictions and them tactics. Understand that we was there. So I come across a few people that I converse with, have conversation with, who told me that they had a conversation with a karmic and they was trying to get that person with the negative thinking that's stuck in their ways, stuck in their negative ways, still connected to the addictions, and they was trying to get them to see things how they see it. I told them, nah, bro. You don't have to waste your time and energy trying to get somebody to see things the way you see it. Like I always say, like in other messages, two eyes are never going to see the same. Can be similar, but never the same. I'm gonna go a little further and say that when you're awakened and you're going through your spiritual awakening, your process of change, of healing, of connection, of going within, connecting with the Most High and your spiritual team and your angels and your ancestors, and you're doing that work and you start to see life in a whole different light. Keyword, different light. Because when you was dimming your light during that time, having everything overpowered, now that you broke out of that, broke free from that, and that light is shining bright, remember, they're not looking at it that way. They're not in that zone. That's not their mentality. Their mentality is not about healing. Their mentality is not about growth on the thinking level of how we're viewing it. Because spiritually speaking, they're not connected. They're not spiritually connected. And the reason why I'm saying that, could they be? Yeah, possibly. If they connect and go within. However, reason being is, when you don't understand that whatever you put out comes back, then it's going to be a problem. You're going to be looking and expecting things to be better and then get frustrated and upset when it don't happen the way you think it should. Oh, I'm doing good. I'm following the right stuff, and why nothing's happening? God, remember, there's a such thing called karmic debt. Karma is always going to come back for payment. For example, it's just like how we look at the banks, how we look at like with loans and those different things. If you default on that loan, you don't pay that loan. If you don't pay whatever it is that you took out at that time, no matter what you utilize that loan for, if you default on it, you don't pay it back. Eventually, you go back into that world because you utilized that loan for whatever, whether it be materialistic stuff or whether it be whatever to feed your addictions when you in that karmic nature. Now, that cycle got to come back around. So now you're going to come back around where you're going to need it again because you kept yourself in a need situation. So now when it comes back around where you're in need for another loan and you really need it, meaning something done took place in your life where it's like, oh, I got to get this money. Let me go get it. And now they like, nah. They deny you. They're like, nah, I need that bread back. Nah, we ain't trying to hear nothing. And drastically, you're looking at it as, y'all don't understand. I really need this. No, I'm going to pay you back. I'm going to pay you back. They're not trying to hear that. So I'm saying it like that to say, that's karma. Karma ain't trying to hear nothing when she come back around. It's all well and good. You know how they say it was all good just a week ago. So it's all well and good when you doing the thing and not taking care of what you're supposed to take care of. And then when it comes back around, and it's like, damn. So what I told my boy was, let that be, bro. Now is at a point where you got to choose you. You got to become one in connection. You can't tell somebody to do something, to see things your way when they didn't go through that. They don't got the experience. They don't know what you're talking about. So it's not going to be interesting to them if they don't have a focus on going that route. You got to let a karmic be a karmic, just like you got karmics out here, you got light workers out here. So with that being said, if you don't know where you stand, then of course you're going to be on the fence. If you don't know the rules to the game and you get in the game, it's going to be problems. If you learning the rules of the game, even though you want to get in the game, you anxious to get in the game, but you willing to go through the process of learning the rules, getting the training, so you could get in the game. Then when you get in the game, you know what's going on. Right now, they don't know what's going on. They're comfortable in what it is that they do. So stop trying to convince. Let me put it in this format. Stop trying to persuade a person who has negative thinking, who's comfortable in doing what they're doing in negative ways, who's comfortable in lying and sticking to them lies or not used to telling the truth. Because you got to think, if you can't be true to yourself, there's no way you're going to be truthful with anybody else. You have to understand that. And the only way you can be true to yourself is, like I always say, going within, facing yourself, connecting with yourself, connecting with the Most High, connecting with your spiritual team, and allowing them downloads to flow, allowing the right momentum in your mind to take place. And then the key piece right after that, like I said before, one, you got to forgive yourself for your old life. Then you got to embrace your new life. And the third thing that I would say, in my opinion, that you would have to do, which is probably the most important after that, is you got to stick with discipline. Discipline and implementation. You got to discipline yourself to not be tempted by those addictions and all that negative stuff. And you got to apply it into your life, because that's the only way you're going to know. Just like taking a test. I won't know if I'm going to do better on this test unless I take the test again. So after I take the test the first time, and if I get 60, 70, or even 80 on the test, but I know I want better, I know I want more, I know I can get that 100, what I got to do, I got to study more. So now I got to separate myself away from the distractions. I got to go in my zone which, you know, when I talk about meditation and utilizing that tool, is the same concept of when you go into your study hall or when you go into the library and you sitting down quiet and getting into them books while everybody else out there partying and doing what they want to do. Now you going in your zone, you studying. And then when you take that test again, because the test got to come back for you to know that you are able to apply that and it works. So that's what happens when we go through our transformation. We're going to have people that were around us trying to come back around. And it's just just another test to let you know where you stand with what you do, what improvements you need to work on, if any. And you know, like anything, once you fix it, it don't just be that's it. You got to maintain it. Just like a car. You could get a brand new, but you still got to keep the proper services on it, like oil change and maintenance work and stuff like that as you go. Because why? You're driving it. So it's the same way with us. We're on the drive. We're positioning ourselves to put out love, peace, light, and joy. So that's what we do. But you don't do it based upon trying to convince or persuade somebody to buy into it. Like I always say, the truth don't need validation. The truth don't need nothing to stand with it. That's what the lies are for. The truth could stand by itself. Them lies can't stand by itself. So if you got karmics out here who's comfortable with lying, that's why you see a group of them together most of the time. That's why you see they operate in packs. That's why when quote unquote spell work and all that shit is sent your way, it's coming from different people because they working in groups because they can't stand alone. You stand alone. You shining. Like I said in the last minute, you shining. And your light just getting brighter and brighter. The more you studying, the more you connecting in that sense, the more you connecting, becoming one with the divine, one with yourself, one with your spiritual team in the Most High, it becomes a different level of sunshine. It's like when summertime comes, like everybody knows summertime is coming. But when you get them days where you got them heat waves, what happens? Majority of everybody, nah, I'm going in the house. I want to get under the AC. What do you mean? I got to get away from that sun. Why? Because it's burning me up. I can't stop it. So it's the same sense. Stand in your power. Walk in it. And don't think twice about it. And accept them for who they are. If they really want to change, you be that example. You keep shining. You keep shining. But you gotta accept karmics for who they are. You got to. The same way it was difficult for you to make the change that you making now on the highest level of choosing you for your highest good. So can you imagine when you was trying then, before you got to this point, to convince them in little situations, even when you was in your low vibrational state, that, yo, we need to do better. Nah, we can't keep doing this. They ain't want to hear that shit. They ain't want to hear none of that. Like, man, don't come over here telling me what to do. And let's be honest. When you was doing it, you may have had a heart and, you know, you went through what you went through to learn. And you would try to convince them, but you played parts in certain things. Maybe not like they did it. But, of course, they're going to look at you like, how you going to tell me not to do something that you doing with me? So now that you changed, and they already knew you had it in you, they already knew, but they try to keep you distracted with them things to stay low vibrational. But now that call was on your life, and you looked up and answered that call, that was the nail in the coffin. That was the nail in the coffin. That's what they was afraid of. But it is what it is. It is what it is. So you don't take that time that you was pulled out of that fire. Now you go through the fire, you don't get burnt. So now you was pulled out the fire and you know you on point. You official tissue now, you glowing. You don't try to go back to prove anything, because there's nothing to prove. It's already been proven. It's been shown. You're the example. You are the proof. So you don't have to try to do something that's already done. So you don't got to try to convince them. You don't got to try to persuade them to do better, to change their lives. Nah. You keep changing yours. You keep doing what you need to do. And if they really want to change, they're going to change, because they're going to see the light. You can't miss the light. You can't miss the light. And that's the whole key thing. We got to accept people for who they are. People going to choose to do what they want to do. And that's why I always say, to each his own. Do what you do. Stand on who you are. Especially when you're doing things out of love. Like I always say, when you do it from love, it's always worth it. Love is the highest vibration, highest frequency. It's going to always connect. It's going to always connect. Always connect. Even during the times of when I was in the religion state of mind. You know how I say love conquers all? That tell you everything right there. They might put it in a different perspective to make you think something totally different. However, they even tell you the same thing. When these eyes, the spiritual eyes open, you see things in a whole different light. Keyword light. They don't say you see things in a different way in the dark. You see things in a whole different light. So understand that what you see, now that your spiritual eyes are completely open, they're not going to see. Their eyes are closed or peeking through. You get what I'm saying? It's like when you got crust in your eyes early in the morning. You're trying to open your eyes and it's like, it's a little struggle. Vice when you wide awoke and you ready to get your day started, or however you want to put it. It's the same concept. So, you know, everybody got their own time clock of when they got their awakening. Everybody got free will. Everybody got that opportunity that will come whenever it's supposed to come. Like y'all always hear me say, on divine time. Some may get it in this lifetime. Some may have to repeat it. Only the Most High knows. But when you get that awakening and you connect and you answer the call and willingly you get it, especially after you go through your training, your transformation, your new beginning, and you accept it for what it is and not what you want it to be, and then you embrace it, then you implement it with discipline. Oh man, you see the big difference. You see the big difference. So I'm gonna say it again. Accept karmics for who they are. Stop trying to push them into a position that you're at when you know what you had to go through. So that's why when people talking about religion, when people talking about beliefs, I always hear me say, to each his own. And the reason why I say to each his own, because it's a message in everything. We don't know how it's going to be portrayed. But when you go through it, you just have to understand what's really being brought out. Everybody got different lingos. A lot of people got different, what's the term? Pronunciations. People got different dictionary words. I'm going to use that. I'm going to say dictionary words because certain words have certain meanings. It has few meanings, but it means different things to different people. So, like I always say, if you're aligned with another person and y'all going in that same direction for y'all greatest good, because that's what it all come down to. People that's aligned, who want better, who want more for their greatest good, eventually, if you taking that narrow road, you'll meet up with the people that took the narrow road that you're supposed to meet up with if they're a part of your tribe. That's what it come down to. everything ain't for everybody from everybody. The connection is with whoever the connection's supposed to be with. Get what I'm saying? So that's basically what I came on here to say. Stop to my chosen ones. Stop to my ascended masters. Stop to my light workers. Stop stressing yourself out trying to convince and persuade karmics, negative people who comfortable in doing the BS, the bare minimum. Stop trying to get them to be something that they're not or that they don't want to be, and keep pushing through and keep letting the Most High and your spiritual team guide you, and keep doing what you do. Stress yourself out over that. They're gonna be all right. They gotta deal with what they gotta deal with. Karma is right there. We know how that go. Either gonna be on the good side of karma or on the bad side of karma. It is what it is, but everybody gotta do what they gotta do. So like I said, y'all keep putting love, peace, joy, happiness, all that good stuff out, and I'm gonna get at y'all in the next one. Love y'all. One.